Morning students, Sairam, this is Megha Miss here, and today we'll be starting with the new lesson. As I told you in the last presentation that we'll be starting with a chemistry based lesson. So today we are starting with our lesson number 14, that is substances in common use. Okay students, this is our session 1. Now the last lesson we have studied about study of sound. I hope you have studied that lesson properly. You have written out the sums also, which I told you. Please make the note of the sums in your notebooks and solve on your own. Okay, do the calculations on the own so that you will better understand it. Okay student, so starting with, we'll see the pH scale. Okay, now why I am showing you this pH scale? Now you have seen that yes, many different types of the substance, as from the chapter name, substances in common use, which we are starting. Okay, in that, from that name only you must have understood we are going to study about the substances which you use in everyday life, right? Now whatever the substances students you use, you know they are the 3 different types we have studied, right? They can be acidic substances, they can be basic substances, or they can be salts, right? And you have studied about the pH scale. Yes, now you can see many different things are here included, like you have hydrochloric acid here. Okay, stomach acid is there, lemon, vinegar, tomato, apples, milk, pure water, blood, broccoli means vegetables we can take, baking soda, okay, soaps, bleach. Okay, many different things you can see here in this picture, right? So all these are the substances. Yes, are these all similar to each other students? No, they are not similar to each other, right? Why? Because they all have got the different properties. Yes, all these substances have got a different properties, right? And all of them you can say that they can be acidic, they can be basic, or they can be neutral. Yes, and we can also tell that they can be acidic, basic, or these salts. Yes, so in this chapter students, we are going to study about these salts which you use in your daily life, and we are going to study some of its properties. Okay, so shall we start? Now see here. Now the important salts in our daily life, what are those? The ionic compounds which do not contain H plus and OH minus ions and contain only one kind of a cation and anion are called simple salts. So the ionic compounds which do not contain H plus and OH minus ions, okay, they contain only one kind of a cation and an anion, we call them as the simple salts. For example, you have Na2SO4, K3PO4, CaCl2. Okay, all these are the simple salts. We cannot say they are the ionic compounds. Okay, so these are the ionic compounds, but what we can say, they are the ionic compounds without H plus and OH minus ions. We can say it in this way. Okay, inorganic substances occur naturally in the form of the salts rather than acids and bases. Okay, so inorganic substances, they are neither acids nor base. They will not you will not get it in the form of the acids or bases. You will get them in the form of the salts. Okay, about 80 million tons of salts are added every year to the seawater. Therefore the sea is said to be the rich source of these salts. In fact, the sea is a rich source of several salts of various elements such as chlorine, sodium, magnesium, potassium, calcium, bromine. However, we also use other salts apart from this, okay, in our daily life. Okay, we use this, but leaving this also we use different types of salts in our daily life. Okay students, now we have seen in the previous lesson, yes, you have studied this, that salt is neutral, right? But when student salt is neutral, when its pH is going to be 7. You know, when the pH value is 7, you can see it is shown in the green color in the pH scale. Okay, so when the pH value is 7, we will say that it is a neutral salt. Okay, mostly it is a neutral salt. Such a salt is made from a strong acid and a strong base. Yes, you have studied this. The pH value of a salt made from a strong acid and a weak base is less than 7. So the salt, when it is made from a strong acid and a weak base, it will be less than 7. The pH value will be less than 7. That means it will be acidic. Between 1 to 6 you can say. Okay. On the other hand, the pH value of a salt made from a weak acid and a strong base is more than 7, and we will call it as the basic. Means from more than 8 to 14, okay, what you will be having the basicity of these salts. Okay students, I hope till here it is clear. Okay, we'll proceed. First salt we are going to see student, that is the sodium chloride. Okay, now what is this sodium chloride? Now see, this is the neutral salt. As I told you, most of the salts you will see that they are neutral. Okay, table salt or common salt, which gives a salty taste to food, is the most used of all these salts. Yes, we are every day using, okay, yes, each and every day we are using this common salt. Yes or no? Without it, will you be able to prepare your food? No, you need taste, right? Its chemical name is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is formed by a neutralization reaction between sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. Yes students, you have already studied this. Yes or no? You have studied what is a neutralization reaction. Remember the definition? Neutralization reaction is the reaction when an acid and a base reacts together to form salt and water. Right? Remember this definition. Okay. So here sodium chloride is formed. Right? A neutralization reaction taking place between sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. Okay. This is a neutral salt. Okay. And the pH value of its aqueous solution is 7. So this is a neutral salt student. Common salt is a neutral salt and its pH will be 7. Okay. Now, properties and uses. Now what are its properties and uses? Common salt, first one is the common salt, is a colorless and crystalline ionic compound. Okay, there is no water of crystallization in its crystalline structure. Okay students, so it does not contain any water of crystallization. Okay student, it is a neutral salt, salty in taste. This compound is used for the production of salts like Na2CO3, NaHCO3, etc. So in the preparation of the different types of the salts, common salt can be used. Okay. Now, when an electric current is passed through a saturated solution of the sodium chloride, we call that saturated solution as the brine. It is electrolysed and hydrogen gas is released at the cathode and chlorine gas is released at the anode. Okay students, so when an electric current we are passing through the saturated solution of the sodium chloride, if we are taking, then what will happen students? You will get hydrogen gas which is released at the cathode while chlorine gas will be released at the anode. Okay. This method is used for the production of chlorine gas. So in this way you can get the chlorine gas. Okay. In this method, an important basic compound NaOH is formed in the cell, and also you get the formation of the basic compound. What is that? Sodium hydroxide. Okay students, so see the reaction is given, 2 NaCl plus 2 H2. As it is a saturated solution, of course we are going to have water, right? What you are getting formation students? 2 NaOH plus Cl2 gas is released plus H2 gas is released. So here main our product, that is Cl2 gas we need. Okay, chlorine gas. Okay. Fifth point, when salt is heated to a high temperature, about 800 degrees Celsius, it melts. This is called the fused state of salt. What you will call student it as? Fused state of salt. Okay. When the fused salt is electrolyzed, okay, chlorine gas released at the anode and a liquid sodium metal at the cathode. Okay students, so when I am taking this fused salt, okay, and if I am passing electricity through that, what I am going to get? Again I am going to get the formation of the chlorine gas which will be released at the anode, and a liquid sodium metal I will be getting which will be at the cathode. Okay students, I hope all these 6 properties are clear to you. Okay, at least 4 properties you will remember. Okay, now next salt we are going to see, that is sodium bicarbonate. Okay, which we also called it as the baking soda. You must be knowing, you must be having it at your home also. Okay, so the formula is NaHCO3. Okay, your mother brings cake on your birthday or makes it at home. She also makes crisp bhaji. Have you ever asked your mother what makes the cake porous or the bhaji crisp? Yes, it is because of this baking soda. Okay. Mother adds baking soda in the batter. Baking soda is a white non-crystalline powder. Which color, student? It is a white non-crystalline powder. Its chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate. How you can say? Sodium, you know hydrogen, H is there, so hydrogen, CO3 means carbonate. Okay. Or sodium bicarbonate, and its molecular formula is NaHCO3. Okay students, I hope important you will remember. Chemical name can be sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate. Okay, we remember the molecular formula NaHCO3. Okay students, I hope till here it's clear. Okay, so we'll proceed now. Yes, now properties and uses. First property, NaHCO3 reacts with moist litmus paper, okay, and red litmus turns blue, which means that it is basic in nature. So if you see now here, this salt is basic in nature. Okay student, it is used to make bread, cake, dhokla. Okay, being basic in nature, it is used to reduce acidity in the stomach. So many types of if you have acidity problems and if you are taking some medicines, you will see that some of the constituents will be sodium bicarbonate. As it is basic in nature, it will be helpful to reduce the acidity of our stomach. Okay, NaHCO3 is used to make the active substance CO2 in the fire extinguisher. Okay, you have seen this. Yes, we have studied about fire extinguisher. If you remember, you can go back and you can see whether we have used NaHCO3, which is used to make the active substance CO2 in the fire extinguisher. Baking soda is used to clean an oven. Okay, for cleaning of oven also we are using the baking soda. Okay students, I hope all these 5 properties and uses are clear to you. Okay, again I'll repeat, NaHCO3 reacts with moist litmus paper and red litmus turns blue. Okay, which means that it is basic in nature. So in short, you will remember NaHCO3 is basic in nature. It is used to make bread, cake, dhokla. Okay, then what? Because of its basic nature, we are using it to reduce the acidity of the stomach. Okay, it is also used in what? Fire extinguisher to make an active substance CO2. Yes, and baking soda is also used to clean an oven. Okay, I hope all the properties and uses is clear to you. Okay students, so we have come to the end of the today's presentation. Okay, so what we have studied about today? Yes, we studied the important salts in the daily life. Yes, we studied under this heading. We saw that seawater, it is a rich source of the different types of these salts, and as you require the different salts like magnesium, chlorine and all, we are requiring, right, sodium and all. Like that, we also have some of these salts. Under that we studied first one, that was sodium chloride. Yes, NaCl. We also called it as students table salt. Very important salt, as we are using it in our daily life every day. Yes or no? Yes, right? Without sodium chloride, will your food taste good? No, right? You will not eat your food because it will be not having any taste, right? So very important salt, that is sodium chloride, we have seen. Yes, and yes, we have seen that this sodium chloride we can also use in the preparation of different types of the salts. Yes, then we have seen about the sodium bicarbonate. Okay, what is sodium bicarbonate? NaHCO3. Important, as I told you, you will remember the formula, and you will also remember that we can say it as sodium hydrogen carbonate, or we can say it as sodium bicarbonate. Yes, and we have studied its properties. Okay students, so I hope whatever we did today you have understood and you will go through the presentation properly. We will meet in the next presentation and continue with the lesson. Okay students, thank you. Sai Ram. Take care.